Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about how much Aerodrome Finance, good old Aero coins, do you need to retire in the next 3 to 5 years? This is a common question that almost all of us on YouTube gets routinely about pick a random crypto, right? How much do I need to become a millionaire or to retire or to become financially free? And throughout this video, I want to give my thoughts and math. I will support my opinions on math. Check that one out of where I think that it could be and how much that you actually need in a certain time frame. So if you want to see the price predictions, where I think things can go, stay to the end of this video. I will go over all of that today. And of course, as always, let me know if there's any questions or comments. Put them down below. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that I love interacting with you guys. And if you guys have been here for a little while and get anything useful from this video, please do press the like and subscribe buttons down below. It does help me out. But regardless, let's move forward and talk about how much Aerodrome do you need to retire? Okay, so I would love to say that it's so simple as let me just give you a number, but I think all of you guys knew better, right? So how much arrow do we need to get? Well, I got to put a couple caveats really quick for the first 60 seconds here. These just has a different cash number in mind for how much we need to retire or be financially free or be whatever it is that you consider rich and good. And I don't know what that is for you. Another component is how long are you willing to wait? Time in the market really does beat timing the market. If you're willing to wait that 3 to 5 years versus seeing if we're going to have that big pump, which I still suspect we will in the next 3 months, those are two very different scenarios. So that's all things to keep in mind of, I'm thinking in the next 5 years, just to clarify for this video. To clarify, as I've stated in several other videos, I don't plan on holding my aerodrome completely for the next 5 years. I plan on selling everything in the next couple of months, aside from maybe my quant. I've talked about this a few times. I've got the video about my backup plan in case there is no real alt season or anything coming up. Feel free to check it out if you're curious. But I do not plan on keeping my aerodrome. If they don't hit my numbers, I will hold it, but I plan on getting rid of every damn one. But I plan on buying them all back at a cheaper rate in the bear market as part of my bear market strategy. I'll have a video about that coming out soon. But I think it's going to get down to under a quarter again eventually. I don't think it's going to be right now. I think it's going to be closer to this time next year of 2026. But whenever it happens, I'm going to scoop that shit up to kind of start this aspect for me. But now that I got that out of the way of what I actually plan on doing long-term for Aerodrome, let's talk about how much do you need to buy like right now with current prices and everything to get close to whatever major goal it is that you have. So for my long-term crypto, I always have a goal number in mind that I want to hit. And then if I get that amount of my crypto, I have no problems expanding and going beyond it. Right? I don't currently have that for Aerodrome because I'm not looking or planning on holding it for 3 to 5 years at this moment, but I do for Quant. Right? And this is something I really recommend you guys doing. Granted, of course, not financial advice, but this all comes down to having a strategy and a plan. Right? I find it's much easier doing it this way. And what way am I talking about? It's a simply pick a fucking number, right? And let me give you an example of what that means other than just saying 10,000 arrow or whatever. Right? If I think Aerodrome the next couple of years is going to hit $3, which to be clear, if we have any resemblance of an alt season, I think it's going to. The all-time high was just under $2.40. It was 232 or 238, depending on which metric you look at. But I think it's going to hit $3 if we have a real alt season. And I'm very confident it's going to hit $3 a couple of years from now, just with everything that's happening on base. We'll get to that in a little bit. But at this moment, Aerodrome is about 70 cents. Okay, so if you have a goal in mind, let's go with, let's say I want to turn my Aerodrome, I want $30,000 worth of it in X amount of time. End of this year, 3 years from now, whatever. Say I want 30,000. If I think it's going to hit $3 in that time frame, okay, how much arrow do I need to buy right now at 70 cents? So that way when it hits $3, I'm around that 30K. And that's all this method is. So I did the math ahead of time of at 70 cents, if I put down $7,000, it was like $7,009, I get roughly 10,000 arrow, like 10,100 some. When that gets to $3, I've hit over my 30 grand. So it's telling me I need at 70 cents average about 10,000 arrow to hit 30 grand for whenever it hits $3. Cool, done. That's my answer. So it's a very simple method of just saying, what is the amount of money that you want to make? How high do you think your average sell price is going to get, or how high do you think it's going to be? And then figure out how many of that crypto you need to hit that goal, right? I think that there's a very good chance of it hitting $5 to $8 down the road in just a few years. So let's call this in the 3 to 5 year time frame. If we put that $7,010 in today or over time, and we get an average of about 70 cents of arrow, and we're willing to wait 4 years to get to an $8 arrow, you just turn that 7 grand into $80,000 just by buying now, waiting 4 years, and you made, the amount of many people's yearly salary just by putting in $7,000 and waiting. Right? So this is the time of the market part again. Make a small plan, know how much you need to have to hit a goal, and just go for it. And do not waver. When prices come back down, let's say we buy this all at 70 cents and we put our 7 grand in. Awesome. Plans in motion. What if the thing drops down even further? Let's say like 25 cents. You can put more in, obviously, right? DCA. And that means to hit your 30 grand, you can either sell sooner at, maybe you bring your average down so you can sell everything at $2.40 to hit that 30 grand, or you can expand the goal if you still think, nope, it's going to hit that $3 or it's going to hit that $8. And this is just a very easy method that gives you a lot of wiggle room to play with. And this is the way that I estimate what do I need or want for my long-term holds. Because if I'm holding it long-term, I never mind buying more, right? I chose it for a reason. So the whole push here is whether it's retirement or a new car or a house or something, maybe you're looking to pay off student debt, whatever it might be, do the math and figure out what you need. This does not take long, but it's a step that so many people just bypass and skip because we focus way too much on the short term. How much money can I make now? Why can't I make this in 3 months? I heard someone else did 10 times this in 4 months. It was on Instagram and Twitter, so it must be true. Right? But worry about your own timeline, worry about your own goals, and shit works very well that way. And then do realize for a lot of crypto, including AERO, you can earn free crypto for it to even bring down the average more. Right? I've talked several times about the concept of staking or liquidity pools, which is what essentially what Aerodrome Finance does. And liquidity pools for Aerodrome has done me very well this cycle. And it's something that when liquidity stays confident in, I will 100% get back into. But it allows you to print more free AERO or any other crypto for the most part of your choosing, which will just bring down that average. Again, you can't really beat free. And if all you have to do is lock it away or to play around or integrate a little bit on the blockchain for it, I always find it very well worth it. And I do want to share a little briefly about why I'm so confident that AERO will hit $5 to $8 in the next couple of years. It's not like I just pulled this number on my ass, which might be the most common method people use of coming up with price predictions, but I'm looking at utility of Base. And the whole Base ecosystem is more and more reeling in what Aerodrome is going to participate in and do. Aerodrome is planning on increasing its size, but with the merger of Velodrome. So that way it's got a deeper liquidity and more bridging options, more staking liquidity options. It's all good stuff moving forward. And Aerodrome's price goes up, obviously by people buying it like everything else, but usage. It's got an actual utility that not only is retail going to use, but corporations. And that's why I like it so much. JP Morgan is on it, putting down stable coins. This way on Coinbase Prime or Base Prime or whatever the hell, Base Alpha, whichever we're calling it this week. They're bringing in industries and companies to pay invoices and to pay their employees and everything with it. So this is going to be more and more on-chain demand. And let's say when you start getting companies that are now investing on Aerodrome as part of it, because if your invoices and your paychecks are already on it, makes it real easy to put into down the road, like a Roth or some sort of retirement account onto Aerodrome in crypto and just let that stuff continue, what does that do for our token? With there being constant buybacks and everything from it, it keeps the price going up. And long term, this is institutional demand and institutional use. I'm very confident Aerodrome is going to go up to that $5 to $8 from usage, let alone with when popularity in the market and everything comes back a few years down the road and we start realizing what some of the real winners in the whole crypto asset space is. Very confident Aerodrome is going to go up to that $5 to $8 from usage, let alone with when popularity in the market and everything comes back a few years down the road and we start realizing what some of the real winners in the whole crypto asset space is. And I really think Aerodrome's got a great chance of being one of those winners because it's backed by Coinbase. And yes, Coinbase and Binance in 10 years could completely go away. Let's be honest, companies do dissolve. But if you have to go ahead and pick your statistical winners right now, I'm not betting against Coinbase. So I guess the moral of the story today is do your math, have a plan, know what your goal is, and then figure out how much of a crypto you need to hit that goal. Spend a couple of minutes, make it logical, make sure it makes sense. And as a real quick sidebar, I guess, let's say if I was going to sell everything for $3, I probably would not wait till $3 to sell all of it. I would probably start selling at like 230, right below the all-time high, because that's just an area of resistance, goes down. Can always buy more depending on how much it goes down, or just wait for it to go back up and hit it again, sell some at 280, 310, 340, and at that point you'll average around the $3. All right, we can always go in a lot more detail about the planning component of it, but I will always stress, have a plan of what you guys are going to do. Keep it simple. Always feel free to have your own little gambling side, like I sure as hell do. Like I like playing with a little bit of leverage here and there. I like doing swing trades, but 70 to 80% of my bags are all spot, and I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm getting rid of them. And I've got a backup plan involved for it in case the market just says, fuck you all, we're doing something different. Right? So let me know what your thoughts are below. Where do you think Arrow is going to be in the next couple of years? Are you as bullish on base as I am about it likely being one of the front runners in the next couple of years as like a liquidity hub for institutional and retail demand? I'm curious your guys' thoughts because you know mine. But as always, I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.